Hey Mario Karters and Frenzy fans, this is a little tutorial video on how to use the Frenzy Fan Ranked Points Score Predictor Calculator. So let's get into it. First thing you gotta do, head over to frenzyfans.com, click on Join Free Discord Server button. That's gonna give you a link to join the Discord. Once you join the Discord, head over to the Frenzy Fans Calculator channel, where the very first comment is the link for the Frenzy Fan Calculator, which gets updated at the beginning of every tour. Make sure to make a copy of the calculator so you can change all the values on your own device. Now that you've got the calculator, first tab is a little table of contents, lets you know about what all the cells do. Second through fourth tab are the first three races in ranked. We're gonna go over the cells and what you gotta input in order to start calculating your score values. So first of all, put in your player level. The next cell is the action cell. There are two values in there. The first value is for a plus skilled driver, and the lower number is for a non-plus skilled driver. Next is the bonus points per action. It's pretty straightforward. What it is an average of the amount of points that you're getting for every action in the game. This is going to come from the second value on this page summary screen after you finish a race, and you divide that by the number of actions that you had. This number is also going to come pre-filled out for all of the races every tour, so you most likely don't need to worry about it, but if you find that you're getting a value that's a lot lower or a lot higher, feel free to change it right there. I've added a cell here that talks about whether or not you have a well-fought bonus. Obviously that's going to be for battle mode. If you've got a battle mode race in ranked, you'll want to toggle this from no to yes. Then this next section of cells, you got your driver, kart, and glider information. Pretty straightforward. You can select whether your driver, kart, and glider are common, super, or high-end items. Next, fill in the levels of each of those as well as the base points. Now with Mii suits, you most likely don't have one of these predefined numbers, so feel free to click on the keyboard icon and put in how many ever points, base points that your particular Mii has. Now if you don't have a top shelf driver, kart, or glider, go ahead and select 0 for the level, and the math will turn out just right. If you're not using a top shelf glider, you'll need to put that to 0 for the glider, as well as subtract 15 points from your bonus points per action if you have a middle shelf glider, and subtract 30 points from this value if you're using a bottom shelf glider. So once you've selected an action count value, the error will go away, the red cells will turn to normal colors, and here the calculator will calculate the score that you should get if you were to complete the actions and have this particular bonus points per action. Now if you want to see what particular investments will do for a particular race, you can copy the calculated score for above loadout and paste special and do values only in the cell right below it. And then as you change a level and base points of a particular item, it will tell you how many more points or less points that you would get if you were to have that item at a different level and base points. Right next to the actual score box, go ahead and put in the actual score that you get after you've raced it. And then down at the bottom, go ahead and put in your action count here, the types of frenzies that you had here, and then if you have a plus skill driver, coin box, lucky 7, or boomerang, go ahead and fill out how many normal coin boxes, lucky 7s, and boom boxes that you got there. Now do this for all three races in ranked. I'll go ahead and keep just one action value in here to get rid of the error and have the calculator calculate properly. And here, and after doing that for the three races, On the next tab, we have the summary of all 3 of the courses. You'll notice here that we've got predicted scores and actual scores. The predicted scores are just that. It's the scores that the calculator is calculating based on your loadouts and your projected actions and bonus points per action. Now, as you race the races and you input the actual scores that you're getting for the races, they'll show up under the actual score cells. If you haven't raced a race, it will assume that you're going to get at least your predicted score. And so you'll notice down at the bottom that the total actual score, even if you haven't raced all of the races, it'll take your actual scores that you have raced, but then default to the predicted score for the races that you haven't raced. This will help you be able to gauge whether or not you need to spend tickets based on the performance of your first tracks that you've raced. Now the next tabs are very similar. It's just for the second week in ranked. You're going to need to select the action count. If you don't, you'll notice over here on the summary screen for week 2 that if you haven't selected a proper action count, it'll say select AC, which is short for select action count. So you need to go back and select just one of the numbers, whether you have a plus skill or a non-plus skill driver. And coming back to the summary screen, it will then calculate your score for the entire cup. This last tab is the Me Racing Suit Matching Calculator. What it allows you to do is you can compare using Me suits versus non-Me suits in a particular race and see here in the table below how many points you can expect to get based on how many Me suits that you have. This is kind of a nice tool to be able to see over here with these purple cells. If you're wanting to compare a non-Me suit driver that say has a plus skill that you can get more actions on, you can compare it to maybe a non-plus skill Me suit driver, and to change the amount of actions, you can lower it by 15, 20, however many actions you think, and calculate in the end in this table how many points that you could anticipate getting between using the two. You can also use this tool to find out if purchasing 1 or 2 more Me Racing suits helps you either take advantage or avoid the point breaking that can occur with getting a various amount of Me suits. All you have to do is change the value of the Me suits from what you have to what you think that you would be able to get, and compare the score down in the table to see how many points that it gets you. Thanks everyone for joining me on this short tutorial of the Frenzy Fans Race Score Predicting Calculator for Mario Kart Tour. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, or if you head over to the Discord, I'm always there, and there are plenty of people there that have used the calculator and would be more than happy to help you out. And until the next video, may the frenzies be forever in your favor.